Hey, so we're going to go over the 3D scanning portion of the site survey. The 3D scanning portion of the site survey is conducted via Matterport. It assists our client in getting a better visual presentation of the site by rendering a 3D model for them to view. With this model, the client is able to view the space with depth that would otherwise be difficult to view from pictures. This is especially useful for looking at corners and angles. In this video, we will cover some of the hardware aspects of the Matterport and go over some key points on how to conduct scans in certain areas in the store. So what I have here is a scan that a technician did in the past. If we actually back out a little bit, this store is actually quite large. We classified this store as a convenience store. I'm going to show you an example of a micro store in just a second. But basically, we classify the stores in three different types: convenience, micro, and mini. If we get into the scans here, if we look at the floor, there are a lot of circles on the floor. These circles pretty much just represent where the Matterport was sitting when the scans were taking place. You would want to move the Matterport every 3 feet apart to take these scans. So if I had one here, I would just eyeball 3 feet here and take a scan. Once that's complete, I would eyeball another 3 feet and take another scan here. An element you might come across when you're doing the Matterport scans is probably some doorways. As you can see, when we were a little bit farther away from the door was closed. But as we approach the doors, we want the doors to always be open. We want the doors to be open until we're finished scanning the entire inside of the door, and until we move to about maybe 6 to 8 feet, so maybe 2 or 3 scans away from the door itself. When we come to the door, though, we want to take 3 scans. We want to take one in the front of the door, one on the door frame, or as close to the door frame as you can get, and one on the inside. So I know this one's overlapping here, but yes, we get one on the inside, one on the door frame, and then one on the outside of the door. Another aspect or another element of the site survey with the Matterports is the corner shots. We take a 3-point contact shot for the corners. We take one in the corner of the center of the corner, and we take one 3 feet to the left of the corner, and we estimate another 3 feet to the right of the corner. The reason we do this is because we want to get the depth of the corner. We want the Matterport to pick it up, just so that we can realize that it is actually a corner. If we move over here, this is actually a smaller site that we just recently did. If we look at the floor space, actually the actual market space itself is only 10 by 12, so 120 square feet, just from here to this corner over here. We usually don't take scans of any other places where there aren't going to be any products, but for the purposes of this client, particularly, we had the technician take the scans of the actual entire floor. So here's just some more details with some concrete visualization for the Matterport aspect of the site survey. When we come across the app and when we're taking these scans, we come across these dark circles, or these dark spots, sorry. This just represents that the Matterport was not thoroughly able to pick up these places. Ideally, what we would do is go back and take extra scans in any of these places, just so that the Matterport can fully render them. Once we do so, we actually come out with the entire image. It looks a lot better here, a lot cleaner. The corners are fixated, and everything is rendering perfectly. Here's the side-by-side comparison. As you can see here again, the dark spots, and after we went back and took the scans again. The 3-point contact for the corners again. Uh, Ideally, we place the Matterport in the corner, 3 feet to the left and 3 feet to the right. The doorway scans, we take one in the front of the door frame, and inside of the door, always making sure to remember that the doors are always open when we're inside of the doorway or when we're about 3 to 6 feet close to the doorway. We come across some app errors from time to time. We come across the camera unstable error a lot. This pretty much just means that you should check the tripod, make sure that the tripod legs are all fully extended, make sure the floor is somewhat leveled. And then we also come across the could not align error. If you come across this error, it's either because the Matterport is not picking up the previous scans or you're not close enough to another scan for them to actually connect. What you would do then is either move the Matterport closer or even for the unstable error, if these two aren't being solved, then you would want to delete your previous scans and probably have to go back again and retake those scans as well. This is pretty much what the app screen is going to look like when you're finished taking all the scans and everything is coming out nice and clean with no dark spots. The numbers representing, of course, the number of scans you took and where the scans took place. You're going to want to screenshot this screen on your phone and send it to your point of contact for review. Once you get your screenshot reviewed, you want to go into the app and make sure to label any windows or mirrors on site. We do this by going into the bottom right corner, and there's that line with the 2 circles at the end. If we click that, we get some tool options. The first one being for mirrors and the second one being for windows. We just click the one that we want to use and drag our finger across to define the length of the object. And we always want to make sure that we have the inside label facing inside of the site. I understand there are dark spots here. We only mark windows and labels when this entire area has been finished scanning. So getting that review from your point of contact before this is 100% necessary. Once you're done with all of that, on the top right of your scan screen, you're going to see the upload button. You will need Wi-Fi to upload. The upload only takes about 5 minutes. If your escort allows you to connect to the on-site Wi-Fi, that'd be great. Just upload right there because the rendering will take about 2 to 3 hours. You do not need to be waiting for the scans to be rendering. So that pretty much sums up a lot of the Matterport elements for taking the site survey. Of course, just always remember to ask any questions to your POC if you have any, and when you're done with the scans in total, you should always take a screenshot and send it to your POC for review.